Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, headmistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai Bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, those are the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. Tonight I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of an experience that I had. I believe I was the target of a predator who was either going to try to rob me or snatch my purse. And I kind of want to share this experience with all of you guys. Hopefully you guys can learn something from it. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, I want to start out by saying that the majority of this channel is all based on martial arts. I do teach Japanese martial arts, so it's going to be heavily influenced of the ancient Japanese martial arts, or the koryu. So koryu Ninjutsu, koryu Bujutsu, everything that happened in the age of the samurai. I also have lots of videos on martial arts philosophy. I do videos on some of the ancient texts and ancient scrolls and Densho. But I also do a lot of videos on just reality-based self-defense, learning how to protect yourself here and now in the modern day. And you would think that using the words reality-based self-defense, everyone, that should be a no shit, right? Everyone should be doing that. Unfortunately, they don't. The majority of people who teach self-defense are lying to their students. They're not teaching reality-based self-defense. What they're doing is teaching martial art techniques. They're making it flashy. They're building up the students' self-esteem, so on and so forth, self-confidence, and they're going to say, this is what you should do, this is how you can protect yourself. But in raw reality, what they're doing is not going to save their life, and they know that. They're just teaching a bunch of crap to make money. And I do think the majority of people who teach self-defense are only in it for the money. They're not actually in it to teach martial arts tradition and actually the essence of what martial arts is. So if any of that kind of interests you at all, please subscribe to the channel. But let's get on to what happened, my experience. So I went holiday shopping. I was with my daughter, my youngest one, she's 3, and we were at the mall. And as we're walking around the mall, we bought some items and so on and so forth. She wanted to get some food. So as we walked out of the mall, and as you walk out, there's like people can drive around the mall, let people out and get in, all that kind of thing. And then there's the parking lot, that kind of thing. As we walked out, Juliana was like, well, she wants to get some food. And we were going to get some lunch anyway. Right next to where we walked out, there's like an American Girl doll shop. Then there's I think it's like a Five Guys, a hamburger restaurant. But next to that was Noodles and Company, and that's where we went to lunch. So as we're walking out the door, and we're going to walk out the door, hang a left, we're walking, and we're going to Noodles and Company. There was a gentleman that was leaning up against the wall of the building, and he was smoking a cigarette, and he was much bigger than me. I'm about 6 foot, 175, and he was much bigger than me. I would say he probably had 2 or 3 inches on me, and he had easily 50 pounds on me. And Caucasian, I'm about 6 foot, so he was probably 6'2", 6'3". He had gray hair, gray goatee, big, kind of like baggy, just jeans, I guess, white tennis shoes. He was wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jacket, a really baggy kind of like a hoodie, but it zips up in the front. And he was sitting there smoking a cigarette, leaning up against the wall of the building. And we walked by him, and I saw him, and I thought that was odd, because it was cold as hell outside, and just leaning up against the outside of the building smoking a cigarette. First I thought it was just odd that he's just sitting out there and he was watching people, but then I was like, maybe he's just smoking a cigarette, right? But he looked at me, and he was staring me down the whole time I was walking by. And just kept about my business. I just walked by. I didn't say anything. I didn't make any gesture towards him. Just me and my daughter walked by. We went to Noodles and Company, had some lunch. Now we're leaving. Now, when we leave, it's important, I guess, where he was leaning. There, they got the sidewalk, and then right from the sidewalk, that's the walkway that goes to the parking lot. As we walk out of Noodles and Company and we're coming back, he's still right there with a cigarette in his mouth. And we were in Noodles and Company for a good 30 minutes because, we sat there, we talked, and, hung out a little bit. Instead of, as we were walking up to where the walkway is, which is directly across from him, he looks me in the eye, and he said, I can't exactly how he worded it, but it was very aggressive. And it was just, hey, give me some money. I need money. And it wasn't, do you have money? It's like, hey, can you give me a few bucks? Like, the people on the side, like you walk around, people asking for money and all that. No, it was very abrupt, give me money. And I was thinking, what an asshole. You know what I mean? So I immediately, instead of walking where he is, take a left and go across the walkway, there wasn't any cars coming, so I was holding my daughter's hand in my right hand, and in my left hand I had the bags of all the stuff that I had purchased, and in my left shoulder was my purse. Now I was carrying concealed carry. I wasn't carrying a firearm at this time. It was just a knife. I always carry something. I think not having something is a little ridiculous, and anyone who follows my channel knows that. This particular day I was not carrying a firearm. Anyway, as I'm walking, he says this to me, and I immediately change course. I look away. I'm holding my daughter's hand, and we just cross the path. There was no cars coming, so I didn't need to walk through the walkway and then cut across to the parking lot. Just walk to the damn parking lot. Now, as I'm walking, we parked in the lane or the whatever that was exactly where that walkway is. So when we cut across, we had to, instead of coming straight here, we had to cross back into that kind of pathway where he was, or he could see straight into us. So we cut across and we're going. As we cross where the cars drive, which is probably about a good 20-30 feet, I notice I'm walking where there's an SUV. As I'm walking by it, in the window, I can see a reflection. He's walking towards me. As he's walking towards me, he was walking really fast. Now, before I get on to the rest of this, I just want to say that a lot of times what people do when they snatch purses and all this it's the holiday season. People do a lot of stupid shit. But a lot of times what they'll do is they'll stand their ground in like a lane, and they're looking for prey. They're looking for moms that have kids that is putting bags in a purse. Putting their bags in a car, that may holding a purse or put the purse down to put the bags, and they follow them. And then as soon as they drop the purse, or you see them open the trunk or put their head in the trunk, or they open the door, like if I open my door right here, there's a triangle. In that triangle, you're stuck because you can't go forward, you can't go side to side, and you're stuck. Either they grab their purse and run, because if you're in that triangle of the door wedge, they can grab the purse and haul ass. So they're looking for someone who doesn't look like they're carrying a weapon, doesn't look like, they're going to be able to take the purse, take what they want, and run really fast. Generally, when you see this kind of stuff around malls and things like that, a lot of times the person that's doing the snatching or the taking, they're just going to run to the end of the lane. Right, I'm in a parking lot now. They run to the parking lot and there's a car waiting on them. They jump in their buddy's car and they're gone. So it's not like you can be like, oh, let me call the cops, or oh, let me go to security. It ain't going to matter. They're already gone. And this kind of petty theft or whatever happens a lot. I did find it odd that he yelled at me, and which made me deviate from the path. The fact that he yelled at me is what turned it on even more. I already saw him going in. He already looked shady as hell. And when I walked out, it pinged me that why is he still there? So from a situational awareness, it's that whole thing is like the absence of normal isn't right. Right? So when you're looking at, okay, this is normal, the absence of normal isn't right. You know what I mean? So he just stood out, and it just wasn't right. I just got a feeling it wasn't right. So once I turned away from him, he didn't really say anything. And I'm looking as I'm walking, because I'm parked at the very, fortunately I wasn't parked in the first, fucking parking spot. As I'm walking down, as I'm seeing the reflections of the cars and the windows and whatnot, I see that he's gaining on me. The first thing I noticed was that his jacket was open, which gave me a little more confidence that, I can see that, he's not, it didn't appear that he had something tucked like a firearm or anything like that, and his hands wasn't in his jacket. He was walking really fast, his hands were empty, and he was definitely gaining ground on me. In my head, the first thing I was thinking was, as soon as I get to the car, I need to get Juliana and my daughter, I need to get her in the car ASAP. If I can get my daughter in the car before he even catches up to me, this is what I'm going to do. If I don't, option B. So I already had A and B planned, and we can get into that in another video. Turned the corner, beep, beep, got the car, opened the car up, and I'm like, all right, get in. Let's see how fast you can get in the car. Gotta go. And she goes, okay. She's jumping in, she's running. And I always open my side, and then she jumps in my side on the driver's side, and then she jumps in the back, and then she jumps in her car seat. As soon as she jumped in, I put the bags I was carrying on my left and put it behind my seat, and then my purse, I put it in my seat. Immediately grabbed my weapon. Like I said, I was carrying a knife, pulled the knife, and I had it low. Now, like I said, I don't know if I said this or not. I want to backtrack a little bit. As I was walking, I was seeing his reflection. He was gaining on me. I think I said this, but I had pulled my purse in front of me because it looked like he was going to try to run and grab either the bags or the purse and try to blast past me and try to, rip and run. And I wasn't walking abnormal. I wasn't trying to walk fast. I was taking maybe a bigger gait, but I wasn't making it look like I saw him. I wasn't making it look like I'm running from him. It looks like me and my daughter, and I'm making her kind of skip, and I'm taking a faster gait, but I'm not making it look like I'm running from danger type of thing. But anyway, I pulled the purse in front. So open the door, get in the car. She jumps in, bang, through the 2 bags that I had behind my seat, and I put the purse in, pull my weapon. As soon as I'm in that triangle, I knew that if I'm in that triangle, he has an advantage because that limits my mobility. So as I turned away and I walked towards where the edge of the door would be here. So now I'm in front of where that triangle would be. Like I'm standing on the edge of that triangle. So I could move side to side laterally, put myself between the door open and the next car by me, or I can move forward. So as soon as he turns, and he was walking fast, he turns and he did a quick turn into me. And my car was next to a much bigger, I drive a Mustang and it's lowered a lot. And the car that I was parked next to was a big black SUV. A pretty good, So he didn't really see what I was doing when the car was open. He just knew that I wasn't in my car, that the door was still open and I was still standing there. So as soon as he turns, I had already turned around and I already had my knife out and I had it, extended. And right when he turned, I took a strong 1 step forward. And this is where I think a lot of people would say, hey, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Whatever. But the ends justifies the means, right? And when I see someone pursuing me quickly, and I have my little girl with me, when you're in parent mode, you do what you got to do, right? So this one thing, again, I did notice that his hands were out. So that, because if his hands was in his pockets, or his jacket was zipped up, or he had one hand in his pocket, and it could have gave me the sense of he maybe has a weapon, or this could be more of a carjacking than whatever. Maybe I would have changed my decision. The initial feeling when I looked, hands were out of his pocket, he didn't have a weapon. And I'm saying that to kind of preface this next thing that I did. So as he turned around, I was already in front of that triangle. I was kind of acting like I was doing something. And right when he turned, when I saw the white tennis shoe, I turned and I had a knife out and I'm like, what? And I said it very strongly, right foot forward, bang. And you could tell he looked and he's like, boom, like, oh shit. You know what I mean? I think what was going on is he felt like I was going to put my purse and the bags on the ground. He was going to grab them and keep running. Like, I think that was his goal. I don't think his goal was to have some sort of physical altercation or anything like that. Like I said, he didn't present any type of threat tactically with a weapon. I think he was trying to catch ground. The bags that I was carrying were very big, and they did come from stores that, are fairly expensive. They're for holiday gifts, right? So I think that he was pinpointing things like that. And it was on the same hand as my purse. So I feel like he was, again, most predators who are snatchers and they're thieves, they're not wanting to get some sort of they don't want a physical altercation. They don't want to fight. They don't want to get a weapon. They don't want that. They want to grab their shit and go. And the easiest target is a mom who's walking with her kid, putting her kid in the car seat, put the bags down, put her purse down, open the trunk, putting in the bags in the trunk. That is the perfect scenario because they know that the majority of parents is going to make sure that they don't touch my kid, anything but touch my kid, take the bags, take the purse. That's what they're going to do. That's the number one key. So they play on that fear. So anyway, he turns, bang, and I say, what? And he looks like that, he's gone. He just keeps walking. And when I got my car and backed out, I saw that he got into a car and they drove off. So that led me to believe that that's exactly what it was. So using my situational awareness skills, as I walk in, I noticed there's something wasn't right. It wasn't what he was doing it. it wasn't what he was doing. He's just some tall, older-looking white guy, bigger. It wasn't exactly what he was wearing. It wasn't exactly what he was doing. It's how he was doing it. It's the vibe he was giving off. I caught on that right from the jump. He just looked shady as hell. Ate my lunch, came out, he's still there. And that part, understanding the situation, what's not right, what should it be, why did this happen, and all that kind of thing. It wouldn't have mattered whether he said something or he didn't say something. I believe that he said something because what I think he was trying to do was instill fear. And I think that's why he's walking faster and faster to get me to be like, because if I'm a little shaky, if I feel a little fear, I'm going to get to my car. I'm going to hurry up and try to open the car. And as I'm opening my car, I just want to make sure my kid gets in the car. So he's going to play on that fear. I'm just going to drop my bags, take it. Going to get the bags and go. So by attempting the intimidation, attempting the fast pursuit, assuming that I'm going to fall prey to those, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing, hurry up and just try to get my kid in the car. He assumed too much. And I took the steps to not go down that path, that walkway that he thought I was going to walk. I created distance in a way that looked like I didn't see him coming, although I did. I created distance, got the kid in the car. I made sure that I got everything where I needed, and I got to what I needed tactically and put myself in a perfect position to have mobility in case he was coming in. Now, I do feel that because where he was when I turned around, I do honestly think that there wouldn't have been enough time for me to get in the car. I think there might have been an altercation there because of the way he was pursuing me and at the pace that he was. I think that if I would have attempted to get in the car, I think there would have been he would have stopped the car and then done something to instill more fear to force me to give him the bag because I don't want anything to happen to me or my child. I think that is exactly the situation that would have happened. He was definitely trying to intimidate me by using the words that he used before he pursued me and then the pace he came after me. So, I will say that the evasion tactic, cutting across, and there were people that was walking by on that sidewalk that kind of disrupted him from being able to immediately come after me. I used that to my advantage. The people, the crowd, I used the crowd to my advantage. I used the terrain to my advantage by bypassing the walkway. I created distance by kind of skipping along with my daughter, walking a little bit quicker than what I would have. I had already had a plan preset. Once I get to the car, this is what I'm going to do. And I carried it out. And I just wanted to share that experience with you guys because although nothing happened, I didn't get hurt, I didn't get robbed, the situation itself, the way that it was presented and the way that I handled it, ends justifies the means. I guess you people could watch this video and you're going to be like, oh, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done this. He should have that. Sure. He failed in his attempt, without doubt. There was lots of things. He clearly fucked up more than I did because, he wasn't successful in what he was doing. But nonetheless, I did want to share the experience with you guys and just say, you know what, 'tis the season. We've got about 3 or 4 days before Christmas, and there are a lot of people out there that's going to do a lot of shady shit. And, for those of you guys out there who are out shopping, like I am, you got to be careful. So if you guys, like I said, if this guy's your first video that you guys have ever seen of me, again, I'm Christa Jacobson. I'm the headmistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. I teach 7 ancient ninja samurai traditions. If you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu, classical samurai bujutsu, click the link below. Go to the website. It's budo-ninjutsu.com. We have a list of schools. If you don't live next to one of our schools, we do offer an online ninjutsu dojo. You guys can train in our methods of Japanese martial arts and self-defense, and learn some of these situational awareness strategies that I teach and implement into the self-defense program and put it into our training. If you guys are just into martial arts in general and you guys are interested in self-defense, self-protection, reality-based self-defense, none of the crap, ninjas and samurai and empty-handed fighting and scrolls and densho and philosophy and anything to do with martial arts, please subscribe. Click subscribe below. Don't forget to click the little icon of the bell. That way you guys get my notifications. And if you can, give me a thumbs up and put some comments below. And if you guys have ever had a situation where maybe you were pursued or someone has tried to attack you or someone's tried to rob you, do me a favor. type it in the comment section below. Share your experience, because everybody who watches this video, I want them to read other experiences as well, because the more that we can share our experiences with everybody else, other people can read that and get that information, and they might be able to apply just a few of these things, a few of these thoughts, a few of these techniques to their craft. Remember, knowledge is lightweight and you can take it anywhere you go. So if you guys are watching this video and you have been attacked, robbed, or anything, please type it out in the comment section below and share your experience so other people can learn from what it was that you were either A, successful at, or not successful at, and what you think you could have done different, okay? So thank you guys very much for all of your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. I do get a video up every other day. I try to get up a video every other day on my YouTube channel. So I will talk to you guys in a day or two, okay? Bye.